Welcome. I got Brian up to speed a little bit of what I'm going through, and I don't want to talk. I don't even want to talk in general terms, but you can see where I would be heavily distracted, borderline freaked out on this. Could you not, Brian?
Yeah. You got a lot of distractions.
And I got Macho Man walking in here.
Looking for scissors.
Looking for some fucking scissors.
It was an honest thing, dude. I get it.
I'm not mad at Macho Man. I was just totally in fucking 100% laser locked on a task.
And then you sent the message
hey,
to
man,
the wrong
where's Urkel? I don't know. I don't know. We need some scissors. Fucking lunkhead.
Scissors it up. Yeah, he's been asking for a week or so.
God damn, buy 15 fucking pair. I'll pay for them. Jesus. Fuck. Is Rhett going to be on this show or not?
I'm here. Hello?
And your mic sounds like shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. If you're gonna be on this show, do you need to do? Well, one, you don't have to be on the show if you got work to do.
I definitely got some stuff I can get
perfect.
done.
See you later. Bye.
Yep. See.
Those mics sound like shit. Don't they, Lummy?
Yeah, I'm gonna fix it up. Thank you.
Are you doing impersonations now too, my friend?
Oh, I just did that one because
Right.
Macho did say he was gonna, and he's working on his impersonation.
Oh, who is?
Yeah, Macho.
Macho's working on being himself.
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing here?
Yeah.
So we're on what, YouTube and Facebook? Is that where we are?
Yes.
Yeah. I can't promise you how long today's show is going to be because I'm just in the middle of some shit, and I think Brian's gonna be a little bit involved in this shit now. I just kind of put some of my shit on Brian.
Yeah. You just threw it like a gorilla with feces right in my face.
but
No,
you-
I'm
she looks shit
joking.
on
But
him.
you did offer.
Well, I asked because I could tell how distracted you were during the big show and how concerned you were, and rightfully so.
I didn't want to tell you.
No,
I did
you
not.
didn't.
I did
well,
not.
because for fear of what I might do with that information.
But I think the person that I fear won't be mad. Do you?
No, I think there may be pushback.
Yeah, and I hate pushback.
Yeah, and that's what you don't really want. It's not that you fear it.
Yeah, I know what I want.
Right.
And I know what I want, and I want somebody to help me get there.
Right.
I don't want to be talked out of it.
Right.
And that person could very well do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I'll have any more of these opportunities.
No, this is a once in a lifetime deal.
Right. And I think that you will agree, a pretty strong one nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty ironclad.
Right.
Deal there.
So, I know you got what I sent you. Hopefully you can work on that, for me, and then we'll work on what you told me to work on.
Yeah.
We're both working on.
Yeah. We had a good exchange here. It was a good.
I wanted to go longer.
Yeah, I know.
I wanted to go way longer. The Rays won yesterday.
Sure did. They split the series with the Orioles after that. Almost gave up that 7-run lead. The Orioles did.
Yeah, the Rays almost came back. Lost 8-6 the night before.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Orioles were up by 7.
Yeah, 7-0. Started off in the second.
Yeah, Glass now had a atrocious outing.
Yeah. But now we got the Royals coming in, so.
Yep, it should be a good 4-game sweep for the Rays here.
It
But we also
be.
lost to the Cubs too,
And the A's.
Is McLennan? He's about ready to come up again, is he not?
McClanahan?
Whatever.
He'll be pitching this series, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's Saturday.
What makes him so good?
The talent.
His
No, I mean, has he got like a unbelievable slider? Does he just
He's got 4 pitches.
And his fastball has good movement at the end.
And his arm speed from his changeup to his fastball is similar.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest
What's
thing
the biggest difference? What's the difference in miles per hour?
20.
Yeah, guy will screw himself in the ground on that.
Yeah, it drops off right at the end.
Yeah, and it's the tail on the
It's kind of like
changeup.
do you remember James Shields?
Yeah.
He had the same thing where it was coming in and it just tailed away from the batter.
So you're throwing 94, 95, and now you're throwing 81.
I mean, he can hit 98 whenever he wants to. He's got his four seam is 97, his changeup's 87, and then his curve's 83, and then he also has an 89 mile per hour slider that he's added to the mix.
How's that?
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not the best, but
it's working on it. Is
he a lefty or a righty?
He's a righty.
He's a righty, yeah.
Right. Are lefties still huge commodities in the league?
Yeah, they're still needed, very much so. The Rays don't have a solid lefty on the staff right now.
No.
And it is a distinct advantage. I mean, it is a distinct disadvantage for a left-handed batter, is it not?
No, lefty-lefty matchup? More of a lefty-righty.
No, lefty-righty.
Lefty-righty.
That's the thing is most batters are righty or switch, so you get that advantage. And even just making the switches move to the left side, which is less likely to be their natural side of the plate. Most switch hitters have more power from the right side because most people are right-handed.
So a lefty pitching to a right is your best combination pitching-wise because the ball's coming in on you, right?
Yep.
Oh, McClanahan is a lefty.
Oh, he is a lefty.
He is a
Whoops,
lefty.
my bad.
Yeah, I mean, and so lefties, it's a whole different angle of attack, right? If you're lefty batting to a righty. And what's the majority of the league? What is it? It's probably 60-40 with regards to right-hand versus left-handed batters?
I'd say maybe more.
Well, you got switch too, so I mean
there's not that many switch guys, are there?
Yeah, there's still quite a few. Wander hit switch.
2/3 it says 2/3 are right-handed to 1/3.
66% are right-handed, and those lefties will come. I mean, wasn't Randy Johnson a lefty? No, he was a right. I don't know which one. I know David Wells was a lefty.
I think Randy was a righty.
What, in your opinion, Brian?
He was a lefty.
He was a lefty too.
Yeah, I remember.
Who's been the greatest pitcher of our lifetime? Let's say from 1970.
Nolan Ryan.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
That guy was a beast. Be 43, still hitting 96.
I mean, just not from a pitch variety, like the modern metrics, but from longevity and just I mean, what he did was just exceptional.
Didn't he get pissed? Didn't he consider it an insult if he wasn't allowed to go a complete game? Like I heard that Nolan Ryan would get fucking mad as shit if a manager, if he was starting to get shelled a little bit and the manager came out in the 7th. You know, what do they want? What do they want most guys to go, like 5 now, or like what's
6 is like a perfect number for him.
What don't they like about 100 to 110 pitches workload?
No, they
70,
never want him
80?
to go. Yeah, their preferred workload for a pitcher is somewhere like 80 to 90 max.
All right, and where does that put you at?
6 innings.
Yeah,
six innings.
That's
if
the
you can get to
one.
7, then you had a really efficient game.
Right.
Which is what happened last night with the Rays pitcher. He went 6 innings, low pitch count.
Yeah,
and
Taj Bradley, but it's Bradley. They've got to keep his pitch count low because he's a rookie, and he'll have thrown more this year than he's probably thrown in any. So I think he threw 83 pitches yesterday to get through 6 innings. He's been very efficient in his outings, with the exception of the 2 bad outings that he had. His efficiency's been really good. If they had him throwing 100 pitches like they would let McClanahan throw, then he could have gone 7.
Will they let McClanahan throw 100?
Yeah.
He's got that college
Is it just really, really based on your time in the league?
It's how you've been built
experience?
up. So McClanahan went through college, so he got a lot of run there, a lot of abilities to pitch in a bunch of games. And for Taj, he's just coming up through the system. So
he's getting babied.
So look, his last 3 starts: 94, 96, 92. His high on the season is 102. And he got through 6 innings with 102 pitches. Because he walks a lot of guys. He's got to get his walk numbers down.
Yeah, well, I think
Walks will kill you.
Well, I think it's also him adding those the new slider.
I got to tell you, man, I really do like I am in love with the new rules.
Yes.
I am absolutely in love. I mean, the size of the base is I could give a fuck about. I mean, I guess there's some kind of what is that, for safety?
Yeah, it just allows a batter to get into the plate safer and easier without guaranteeing contact between him and
like if a guy's turning 2 or even making a hard run at first, the first baseman has more real estate to make sure his cleat doesn't necessarily, hit the other guy's cleat. When the guy running to first can kind of take the outside of the bag, and the first baseman can kind of take the inside of the bag, right? Because otherwise, sometimes that's where a lot of people would really fuck their ankles up and shit because they would become entangled. So making the bases a little bit bigger.
It's no big deal.
What is it? 5 inches bigger?
I don't know. It's 5, maybe 5 inches all around, but yeah, I think it's a couple inches.
But
each
man,
side.
the pitch clock and in between innings, and they are sticklers about it. If you're watching a ball game and if you're at the field and you're not watching it on TV, and that umpire, like at 45 or 30 seconds left between innings, he's walking out toward the pitcher and giving him one to go. I mean, I know, Brian, you've been to some games.
Oh, yeah. I'm going Friday, too.
Like, he doesn't let the pitch count get down to 10 and then give the catcher the opportunity to throw it down to second. At 30 to 40, he's walking out so that the batter is in the fucking box at 0.
Yeah.
Right?
And what we're noticing is that pitchers that were really dominant last year are struggling this year. You saw the guy Alex Manoah from Toronto, and the other thing that the pitch clock is doing from a strategic standpoint is these pitchers are having to choose when they go for that heavy heat. You know, when they're not throwing at 98 if they can every time. The velocity is probably down a mile or two per hour this season because they don't have the recovery time between pitches to throw their hardest and then their hardest again and then their hardest again. It's a lot harder, and you're not going to make it through 7 innings if you're doing that with this pitch clock.
I mean, if you take,
I think that would change.
If you take, no, hold on though. But Brian's right. If you take 20 to 30 seconds off a guy's recovery time per pitch, and you multiply that by, let's say, 70 pitches, 20 seconds by 70 pitches is what, 2 minutes?
No, it's like 20 minutes.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's 20 minutes that your body has to be able to kind of reset, get some blood flow, get some oxygen, right? Settle down.
I just said I think it's going to change a little bit where guys are going to get used to it in the minors because they've been doing it for 3 years now. So I think those guys are going to be able to be a little bit better.
That's why Bradley hasn't had a problem with it.
That's what I'm saying.
Have they done? Has Major League Baseball? Is there? I know there's statistics for everything. Have they statistically came up with who has the pitch clock fucked with the most? Like some guy that used to be the man, but he used to like to take his time, and now he's the shit.
So it seems to be older pitchers because they don't have the recovery time between the pitches and they're struggling with it. And you would expect that, right? They have never played with this. They're older. They're more set in their ways. They need more recovery time. But early on in the season, and I haven't seen how the trends have gone past the first month or so, but the trend in the first month of the season, generally speaking, pitchers aged 35 or older had a much lower ERA than pitchers 34 and under, because if you think about it, you know, they've got to be better to make the roster at that age. I mean, you've got to be a better pitcher,
right?
Just naturally.
Or a legend.
Yeah, but this year that flipped in the first month. The younger pitchers, for the first time in forever, had a lower ERA, combined ERA, than the older pitchers in Major League Baseball. And so I think as a generality, older pitchers are struggling with it.
It looks like relievers. They did a study of pitchers that have thrown 750 pitches. And the top 10 are all pretty much relievers.
That are struggling?
Struggling with it, yep.
Yeah, because they got by on throwing their hardest every single pitch.
Right.
Yep. And that's what Chapman.
And then they would go back and rub the ball and make a little cock walk around the back of the thing, pick up a thing of rosin. And, you know, because
step off, call the catcher over.
Now, what's the rules? Is there a rule on how many times you can throw over to first?
Twice.
Yeah, it's limited.
Now, so does it not bring a lot of strategy into?
100%. And that's why stolen bases are way up.
So if you're a Carl Crawford or a B.J. Upton or I don't know who's
they're not in the league anymore. But
I'm talking about. But those are the guys I remember that are really fucking fast. But who's like for the Rays?
Wander Franco, Randy Arozarena.
All right, so if you're
Taylor Walls,
if you're Franco, and I think you usually are the lead. He leads, doesn't he?
No, he's number 2 hitter, 2-hole. Right.
So he gets on single.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I'm not a manager, but he's fast as fuck, right?
Yep.
And he can go. And so they probably tell him, get as big a lead as you can, so the guy's got to keep you honest, right?
Yeah.
So he gets, an astronomically big-ass lead. Guy's got to throw over or he's going.
Right.
Boom, there's one. They probably tell him, okay, now listen, you need to get just the same lead. I keep hearing something.
Yeah, I thought
What
that
was
was
that
you.
knocking back there?
What?
I thought that was you doing it.
Yeah.
Are you guys doing something? Is somebody?
Nobody has a clue, but we all heard. Is it the rats?
Is it Macho?
And if people aren't, can people
Is
just
somebody at the door here? Hold on, I'll
can
check.
people just keep?
Is someone stuck?
Somebody's like banging on something.
Rhett's going to. Rhett, are you going to look?
Hold on, I'm fucking freaking out.
Rhett's going to look. Yeah, I thought it was you, like kind of how you bang sometimes.
I'm literally freaking the fuck out right now. Rhett, your mic's on.
No, Rhett went to
Today
the
has
front
just
door.
been today has been a fucking shit show.
Yeah.
Today has been an absolute fucking shit show.
I wonder if it's Jesus.
Is it Macho? And if Macho's doing this kind of shit, just let us know.
Yeah.
So, can you hear it?
I've been hearing it. Yes, but I kept thinking it was you, kind of like banging on the floor.
And if it's Macho, that's great. Let me know. This is a fucking.
It sounds like with the sonar for the submarine, the fucking Titanic one. It's like 3 every, what, like 15 seconds, Bubba?
Here's what pisses me off. If it's somebody that's here in the building, can you let me know that you're working on something and I'm going to hear knocks? Because I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm ready to get my gun out right now with all this shit.
It's coming. It's like on the outs. Is somebody on the roof? Somebody doing roof work or something?
I don't know.
There's a red Mustang out there. Do you know who
That's Macho's.
It's Machos.
It's on the side of the building, but
That's Macho.
like, is he up maybe in the second level doing some work on the wires? Because it's definitely coming from like out, like up that way.
Can somebody get a hold of Macho and ask him where he's at and what he's doing?
Jeez.
Yeah, there's definitely
People just have to realize if you're doing something in the building that's going to be audibly over the air, you got to let us know so that we can not fucking pay attention. I'm fucking freaking out right now. I'm freaking the fuck out. Rhett, your mic's on. Can somebody tell me what's going on?
Macho's back
It was
there.
Macho. He had to repunch the mic.
Oh, okay. Can you guys just please tell me when you guys are doing stuff like this?
I didn't think you'd hear that in here. The concrete wall. My bad. Is Rhett's mic fixed now?
Let me see, Rhett.
Check 1, 2, 3,
No,
4,
it's still
5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
He's still got a tray, a little.
Yeah.
Little buzz.
Yeah.
All right.
wish I had a little.
All right,
buzz.
so Mach, if you're gonna go fucking knock shit around, like literally, I was ready to pull my gun out.
I really didn't think it was a punch block back there. It's a punch block tool. So my bad.
Oh, we heard it. Like we literally thought somebody was coming. Especially what Brian and I were talking about earlier today. I'm
was
like, what the fuck?
You Rhett can attest. When I went to the side over there, I'm like looking out the window, and Rhett's like, "Why don't you just check?" I'm like,
we figured out it was outside.
"Yeah, I knew,
We
but I still
literally
didn't know what it was."
Poked a head out, and we were both just like, "What the fuck?" Like we heard it,
yeah,
but just couldn't place
but
it.
I was so like sheepish about it.
I will.
Man, today has been a
I will give you a
fucking.
heads up if I.
What an
punch block.
absolute shit show today has been.
It's my fault.
It's not your fault.
I
It's
take
just,
full blame.
So, what were we talking about a few minutes ago?
The stolen base.
So, like, hold on.
Stolen bases.
So Franco gets another lead. Now the guy's thrown him off twice.
That's
now
it.
on the third, he's going.
Yep, he
Isn't he?
should. He should.
Or
Yeah, 'cause
or the guy's going to throw a pitch out, and he doesn't go, and now you're down. You know, now you balled yourself up, right?
But you also want to look, and they have been studying it, the statistics on how fast a pitcher goes to the plate and how that affects them. So right there, if you think he's going to try to go to the plate faster, which even without a throw out is going to mess it up. So they're studying that too.
Yeah, the pitches usually end up higher in the strike zone
Yep.
or out of the zone up when the guy's going to run. So that gives the hitter an advantage too if they know that the pitcher's freaked out by it.
All of this stimulates baseball.
Yeah.
Right? And baseball needed such a stimulation.
Yeah, it says it saved, I think, 26 minutes off a game.
Easily.
Yeah.
More like 35.
Well, it depends on the game. You're definitely not getting those 4-hour, 9-inning Yankee Red Sox games anymore, which are unwatchable and for some fucking reason always end up on Sunday Night Baseball.
Well, of course. That gets the ratings.
Bullshit. I think the Rangers-Rays would have gotten just as good of ratings this week. The two best teams in baseball last week, rather, playing, or 2 weeks ago, over the Red Sox-Yankees.
The Rays split that series?
No, we took 2 or 3 from the Rangers.
Yeah.
Oh. Now, everybody's like we're talking to Big Woody a couple of days ago. He's like, man, the Rays need a closer.
Yeah.
They don't have that fucking slinging dick, fucking closer. Can you see the Rays, because they're very competitive. I mean, the best team in baseball. 1, do you think they can maintain this hotness? And 2, do you think that they'll do something at the trade deadline to fill in? Because are they as big of a contender as they've ever been?
Yes.
Okay. So they're as good as let's just compare 08, what were the 2 years we went to the 08
and 21.
And 21.
Or yeah.
08 and 21. Are they as good as 08 and 21? The team wise.
Better.
Okay. So I think in both of those years they went out at trade deadline and tried to better themselves, did they not? Because they knew that they had something.
Yeah,
they probably know they got.
I don't know that they made trades in 2008. They brought David Price up. I know that was a big addition. Was from the farm system.
I thought they rented a player in that year too.
Anyway,
I'm looking to see if they made any trades that year.
Do they do that this year?
They could
because I think we're as good as either of those years, and I think I know Brian, we got the money, and as far as cap,
yeah. Well, there is no cap, but yeah,
they could go after a team that's not doing too well.
So here's part of the problem.
Do you think they do? Here's part of the problem. You disrupt your team.
Well,
your chemistry?
That's a risk because clearly they have the right chemistry. But the problem is that the expansion of the playoffs and the wild card has made it now so that you have fewer sellers at the trade deadline than ever before.
Oh, because you got that many more teams
that are actually in contention. So if you look, the Guardians, they're in. So you only have the Tigers, the White Sox, the Royals.
Who's the Royals have for a closer?
And the Athletics.
Would fit perfect on the team.
Aroldis Chapman. But I don't know that he would fit perfect on the team. Personality-wise.
That big guy that can throw 400?
Yeah, and Royals are probably going to get rid of him.
And isn't he kind of wild, though? Isn't he erratic?
He has a 2.84 ERA, 45 strikeouts.
How many walks?
How many saves?
But he's not really their closer, but he can be a closer. He has 2 saves this year.
All right, but how many walks? 45 strikeouts. How many walks? 30?
This one doesn't have it as walks on air.
He's got, let's see here, Chapman.
Talking about Chapman.
He's got 45 strikeouts versus 20 walks.
That's not good.
20 walks in 25 innings pitched is not ideal. No, that's a little bit high.
But that's a closer option on a team that's struggling.
Who else is struggling? A's, what do they got? A's got anybody that...
Every team has like 1 or 2 mid-relief type guys that they could get. I think what the Rays need to do, ideally, is if they could get Patino figured out as a pitcher, that would help them in long relief. Because the problem they have is when they have a guy that has a bad outing, then their bullpen's shot, and they don't have, the next day they've got to ride somebody, and take their licks and just take a loss because they don't have the bullpen depth right now. That's the one area, but everybody needs relief pitching. So the market for that is going to be insane. So you're going to have to
How about
overpay.
anybody on the Tigers or the White Sox? I mean, doesn't the White Sox have a pretty good closer?
They have their strength should have been their starting pitching. The problem is these teams are as bad as they are for a reason. It's because they don't have a lot of talent on them.
How about Cardinals? Colorado, Mets. Mets were supposed to be all world this year.
Yeah, they're not going to sell their team. The owners come out and said they're sticking with it.
The Mets won't be sellers at all.
I mean, do the Mets have any? The Mets have a couple studs, don't they?
David Robinson, their closer, is pretty good.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh. How about getting Blake Snell back?
he's with San Diego.
Pittsburgh does have a good closer in David Bednar, but they're trying to go with their young players long term.
I know, but they're fucking 34 and 38 or 39.
That's
actually overachieving for them. Yeah. Lummy and I talked about it when they were 10 games over 500. I said before the All-Star break they're going to be under 500.
Yeah,
and they're 5 games under now.
But 5 is better than what they've been before.
I mean, but Oakland, Kansas City, Colorado, Washington, St. Louis, the White Sox and the Tigers. I mean, that's probably the hopper that you have to choose from.
Well, the Reds look like a team that we're going to be selling, and they just came on strong. The Giants look like a team that might be selling, and they came on strong. So part of the problem is now you literally have 6 or 7 teams to try and glean together.
I mean, the Reds are still they're still 5 games out of the wild card. Does that make? I mean, does that keep you? Are you still in contention at this point?
Oh yeah, because they could have a hot couple months after the All-Star break.
They're 5 games out of the wild card, but they're in first. The Reds, you're talking about?
Yeah,
they're in first place in the Central. They're up by a game and a half over Milwaukee. They've won 11 in a row.
They're hot right now.
Them and the Giants.
I was talking about the Cubs. I was talking about the Cubs.
Yeah, the Cubs, they're still they're only 3.5 out of the Central. I mean, I'm getting home field.
How about Pittsburgh
in the first round?
How about Pittsburgh? I'm talking about these are wild cards.
It depends.
Pittsburgh 6.5 out of the wild card.
Yeah, they're 5 out of the division lead. It would depend on who you're looking for. David Bednar, I don't think he's not that old of a guy, right?
No, he's
like 28.
Yeah,
great, perfect. Let's grab him.
Yeah, good luck getting him. Oh, yeah, exactly. He's 28. They want to build. I mean, these are teams that are building, and those are pieces.
Cards are done. They're 10.5 out of the fucking wild card.
Yeah, they have Giovanni Gallegos. He's not an upgrade over anything that we have. So, no. I mean, Jason Adam has been okay.
Colorado?
The Rockies, their closer is Pierce Johnson.
And he has a
6.83 ERA. That's a negative, Ghost Rider.
Thanks. How about our boy Evan Longoria? He's doing pretty good. I think he's like a WAR +6. I mean, I'm sorry, 0.6.
I mean, that's okay.
Yeah, well, it's better than the guy that I think this other guy that he splits times with is a 0.4, and Evan has like a 200-point better slugging percentage. So I mean, that's the way you play the game now, isn't it?
No, his OPS is over his career average right now, so
right.
that's not shabby.
No, and I think he's gone from like 1.9. I think he was below the Mendoza line at one time, and I think he's batting 247.
237 he's got right now. Nine home runs and 114 at bats. That's solid.
Yeah,
that's solid
for being 110.
Yeah, he's batting.
They got him for $4 million. I mean, $4 million. It's not bad.
He's probably.
Right? Could the Rays use him, or they got a good third baseman?
No, the Rays.
Oh no,
we don't.
Isaac Paredes, man.
Yeah, no.
Is Isaac Paredes better than Evan?
Defensively and offensively, yes.
No, that would mess up the core if you did something like that.
Now, who's the biggest? Is Franco the biggest stud on the team?
No,
period?
it may be Randy now. Randy may have moved into that. I mean, overall,
how long do we got Randy locked up for?
So he's a restricted free agent. They've got 2 more years of arbitration with him, and so not long unless they pay up. Not long unless they pay up. And in arbritration, he's going to get a ton of money.
And he's becoming kind of the face of the franchise a little bit.
What's he making now?
Probably $4 or $5 million this year.
So he's a younger guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 28.
What is he? What first base?
But it's service
left
time.
field.
No, he's left field.
Left field. And he's good as fuck?
Yeah, he's good as fuck. He's exciting. Are
we going to lose him
energetic.
like we do everybody else?
Yeah,
we're going to lose him?
We'll probably lose him when he's, 31?
I think we have 2 more years of control. So his age 30 season, he'll go out and get a huge deal. And that's if they want to pay him through arbitration. He got $4 million I think they agreed before arbitration this year, but his arbitration number is going to go up to probably 10 or 12 million next year.
Well, they got to pay it.
I mean, they
the guy's
will.
An over 300 batter,
What they should have done was sign him long term.
They should have wandoed to him.
Yeah, they should have wandered him.
What the problem was is that they were still holding on to Kevin Kiermaier, who didn't like him.
Yeah,
they didn't get along. But luckily, they smarted up after 2 years and kept Randy.
Could they get him long term now, or is it too long?
Probably too late for them to get him affordable long term. He's arbitration. He's a free agent 2027. So they actually have 3 more years of control. So 24, 25, 26.
All right.
But it's going to cost them an arm and a leg to keep him those 3 years.
What, 10 plus?
10 plus next year. Probably 15 and then 20.
Well, yeah, they'll probably try to trade him probably when he hits 31 in 2026.
Yeah.
And start picking up some more prospects.
Yeah.
That's the way they do it.
The thing they have going for him is he didn't make it to the majors super young like a lot of these Caribbean players do.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so that was good because they had more control time. Yeah, his service time's not as high.
How's attendance out there?
It's up.
Yeah.
It's up. They're averaging 17,000 a game this year.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is
good, isn't it?
For them in a time when attendance is down across sports. That's to be increasing is exceptional. So good for them. They're doing a better job marketing the team. They have a better team to market.
How is that guy, the projected number 1 overall NBA guy, the France guy, that's
Victor Wembanyama?
Yeah, everybody's just absolute. Even LeBron James says he's generational talent. Like it's that they are saying that this guy is probably the most heralded guy since LeBron and since Kobe, maybe Larry, Magic. Like they're bringing that. Those are the.
They said that.
Those are the people.
I'm going to make a Greg Oden prediction
I
on
was
this
just going
one.
to say, they said the same thing about Greg Oden.
I'd make a Greg Oden prediction on this one. Those
Really?
big guys can't make it in this new up and down league.
But this guy's hitting threes.
Good for him.
But what's his Lakers guy's name too? The unibrow guy. The guy
Anthony Davis.
He was supposed to be a generational player. He was in college popping threes.
Yeah.
And he's kind of fallen off.
It's so here's the thing. He's played overseas against much, much lesser talent. And I just don't know how it's going to translate. We'll see. I'm interested to see. I just don't see him panning out.
Craig Bernstein, 25 on the Cash App, Venmo, PayPal.
Thank you.
At the Bubba Army. You don't see this guy being as advertised.
I think he may have a good season or two. I don't think he will have longevity.
Is
in
he
the
too
league.
Is he too skinny?
He's 7'5", 220 pounds.
Meanwhile, if he was 320 pounds, it would be a fucking he'd be a gorilla.
Well, what's a Zion Williamson? Because once again, another one they said
he's 7'2", 229, this kid.
Zion Williamson was also
Zion.
supposed to be
Zion's fat, though.
Zion's had injury problems
but
as
he
well.
was supposed to be the next generational.
He
that's
didn't
what-
come near as ever. He did. There was not as much hype on Zion as this guy.
That's what makes – there was a lot of hype, but that's what makes what LeBron James has done so exceptional. At his size – for the longevity that he's done, he is exceptional in that way. For a bigger guy to play the minutes that he's played over his career is really impressive.
Well, he came up in what, 2002?
Zion's undoing is going to be all his OnlyFans girls that he keeps bringing out to New Orleans to bang, and then they releasing sex tapes on him.
Yeah, that chick is disgusting.
And she's disgusting.
Mariah Mills.
But yeah,
my Pacers, they did some bullshit trade yesterday. They had 3 number 1s. They had I think they had maybe pick 7 or maybe 13, 28, and 30, and they made some kind of crazy transaction. I tried to follow it yesterday. Let me see if you can see where they
traded. They traded this year's first round pick number 29 and this year's second round pick number 32 to the Nuggets for their second round pick number 40, and the Nuggets first round pick. I don't get it for next year.
What?
I don't get it.
It makes no sense.
Who the fuck?
Oh, you know what? Make sense. I don't know what the Pacers, if they have lost a pick last year, or the other problem is they may have had too many picks to sign and keep all the guys this year. So you say, okay, well, we'll get another one next year because we have too many picks this season. So that may be the reason and why they didn't get a lot of equity in return.
It was basically a push.
I mean, it's going to be at best a push.
Basically, you gave a
because
number
the
one.
Nuggets
You gave
are
a
not
number
gonna,
one. And the Nuggets are not going to be a top 5. You're not going to get a lottery pick.
No, you're going to get a bottom 5 pick.
Right, you're going to get You're going to get at least a playoff. You're going to get a 20 on down pick all day, conservatively, and you basically just gave up a number 1. You gave up. You gave up a number 1 for next year's number 1.
Yeah. You traded back in time.
But I mean, I guess what did you give him, a 29?
You gave him a 29. You're not going to do worse than 31, right, or 32.
Right.
So it's that's not.
I don't
terrible.
see them repeating.
It's hard to repeat in any sport now.
I mean, I don't see them repeating.
Yeah. So Indiana had, they had number 7, number 26, and number 29.
Right.
And then they also had number 32.
Yeah, which was the 3rd pick in the...
And number 55.
Right.
So they had too many draft picks in this one draft, and that's why they did it.
So now they have 7...
Now they still have 7...
And 26.
26 and 55.
All right. And they gave up 32.
They gave up 29 and 32
for Denver's first round next year,
and for number 40 this year.
Yeah. 40 this year and the first round next year, because no team has ever had enough roster spots to bring in 5 rookies.
That's the issue. So they had to trade back.
They had 5, they needed 4, so they had to do a little horse trade.
Heather Wiz, $20 super chat.
What's up? Did she ever
She said it's going to be a last minute kind of thing with work.
with for $199?
Yeah.
By the way, and we're doing that on Twitch, are we not?
Yes, we are.
We got to make sure we bring that home tomorrow.
Twitch.
Tomorrow's Friday, right?
Yes.
Phew.
Dan's
Hello,
in.
you're on the air.
Bubba, White Iced Tea.
What's up, White Iced Tea?
Hey, are you guys up to speed with the Zion Williamson sex tape?
A little bit. I mean, where that bitch was, like trying to say she was going to release it and shit. I mean, that's what we're kind of up to. Has there been anything since that?
I mean, is she even allowed to do that without his consent?
To me, Brian, it sounds like extortion all day, but a lot of people don't take extortion on sex tapes, very seriously.
Yeah, just bring it down to the DA here in Florida.
Yeah.
She'll be fine.
She wants to, do it the
saw
Sand Pearl fucking hotel. She'll be fine.
I saw Elon threw her off of Twitter because she's threatening the NBA to trade Zion, and or she's releasing the tapes. So I seen Twitter threw her off.
Yeah, but you can release tapes and have no big deal, no ramifications. You can release tapes all day, buddy. You know that.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that what happened with you, kind of?
Yeah.
Somebody released a tape, and then somebody else got $140 million because they weren't supposed to?
Then the motherfucker got my job.
Bastards. I hope they all die. Anyway, y'all have a good day. Bye.
All right, thanks.
So the Celtics added Kristaps Porzingis in a clear move to try and neutralize Jokic next year if they both make it back to the finals. I don't know that that's going to work, but whatever.
What team has the best chance to challenge Denver?
Probably.
I mean, is Denver
in the West, nobody. Phoenix in the West, maybe.
How's the Lakers going to be?
Bad.
Shitty?
Yeah.
When's LeBron going to give it up?
After he gets to play with his son for a year. 2 more years at least, 3 more years.
Are the Lakers going to draft him?
Well, whoever drafts him is going to get to sign him. He's going to sign a 1-year deal this year, and then his son will probably come out after playing 1 year at USC, even though he's not NBA ready. And with the deal being that you draft my son, you sign me, and you get a package deal. I'll give you a nice, fair deal on my contract. And
is that what
that's what I'm predicting.
Yeah,
he's
but
I mean,
do. That has to be with LA to make it work, doesn't it?
No,
because he's going. No, he's a free agent this year.
And he'll probably get paid a lot of money from a team that's on the bottom just because they want to raise attendance.
I mean, yeah, just think about it. You're the Hawks. You bring in LeBron James
with his kid
selling out.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, but what if the Lakers go to him and say, "Hey, listen, we want you to retire, Laker. We'll draft your kid." Is this kid that good?
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the kid will be available, right? Nobody's just going to draft him, or does somebody draft him knowing they get LeBron?
That's the idea.
Do the Pacers draft shitty ass LeBron kid, knowing that we get his dad for a fucking sweetheart deal for 2 years?
Yeah, and then
we can sell out our shitty arena
once LeBron retires, and they cut the kid.
Yeah, or they put him down in the.
Is the kid horrible?
He's not horrible. He's a good basketball player, but he ain't his father. I mean, he's not a lottery draft pick, but he may go as a lottery draft pick.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I mean, has LeBron made it evident that I will go follow? Like I'm going to play with my son.
This is kind of my prediction on everything.
I mean, has he bona fidely said,
"No,
I'm going to play with my son"?
I think he said he wants to.
Yeah,
right.
He has said it. He wants to. Bronny James.
So
he said he's intent on playing professional basketball with his son.
Yeah. So what do you predict, Brian? He does his 1 year deal with the Lakers.
A 1 year deal this year.
What did he get, like $35 million this year?
It'll be like $55 million in Supermax, whatever it is. Yeah.
He's come out and said, I will play with my son before I retire.
Yeah. So, and that's the only way he's going to be able to do that is to force a team to draft his son, because his son is not good enough to get drafted next year in the NBA draft, in my opinion.
So his son plays 2 years at SC.
No, 1 year.
1 year.
1 year at SC. He's got to come out quick. LeBron doesn't have many miles left on the tires.
I know. So what if the kid, literally shits the bed at SC? Shits the fucking bed, Well, first of all, what positions does this kid play?
He's 6'3", as a guard.
All right. Does he even guarantee? Is he better than the current USC guards?
He'll start with USC.
Well, Bubba, you got to think about it. It would almost be like Michael Jordan when after he left the Bulls, and one of his kids was at UCF, not that great. Well, if you draft him, Michael Jordan will come to your team.
He's a 4-star.
Why not?
Yeah, he's a 4-star recruit.
Michael Jordan's kid was shitty, wasn't he?
But that's what I'm saying.
Well, Bronny is better than Jordan's kid.
Right, that's what I'm
Let's be clear on that. This Jordan's kid is the 26th ranked prospect in the country for this year's class. That's not a lottery pick. Okay, that's a you're gonna maybe hopefully
Second
get
round?
drafted in 3 years.
Yeah.
No, that's you play it to your junior year and hopefully improve enough to get drafted.
Maybe
guy.
into the D League.
Yeah. That's not the 26th guy coming out of high school every year doesn't get drafted.
How good did he do in high school?
He was good. I mean, he's legitimately the 26th best player in all of high school basketball coming out into college this year. You know, he's a legitimately good player, but he's not a lottery draft pick. He's not a top 14 or whatever it is team, 12 teams now, whatever the lottery is. He's not that high up there as a draft pick.
And so this is going to be
good.
This is going to be a big whodunit, is it not? I mean, like with regards to when does he come out? Is he that good? And can the Lakers, get him, or will the Lakers tank so they can have him?
No, nobody's going to be tanking to get Bronny. It's going to be whoever is willing to. I think he'll probably go somewhere around 14th, 13th, 14th to a team that wants to get LeBron ultimately.
No, the NBA has been known to set up their draft, so.
Yeah, we'll see.
You mean the lottery?
Yeah.
The NBA's been known to game the lottery?
Yeah.
For real?
Well,
I mean,
rumors.
that's what they say about Larry Bird and Magic, too.
Rumors.
What?
They put him on the 2 most popular teams.
Yeah, no, now hold on. You can't say they fucking because Red Auerbach, he drafted Larry as a junior, and everybody thought he was fucking stupid. He drafted him like 6th overall as a junior. Like there was, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean.
Well, there's been a lot of people.
You can't put Bird on the fuckery deal because, Red Auerbach he drafted Larry Bird as a junior, 6th. Not like he had him first. There was 5 other motherfuckers that could have drafted Larry Bird. Who actually look at the 1978 draft, the 1978 NBA draft, and tell me who drafted the players before Larry Bird in 78. And then, remember back then, Brian, you couldn't come out until after your senior year. They actually had rules back then.
Michael Thompson went to Portland.
Who was good.
Phil Ford went to the Kansas City Kings.
Who was good.
Rick Roby went to the Pacers.
Yeah, from why didn't Indiana? Why didn't the fucking Pacers say Rick Roby, from Kentucky, who didn't do shit in the league?
Michael Ray Richardson went to the Knicks.
Didn't do shit in the league.
And Knicks, arguably bigger media market than Boston.
Right.
Purvis Short went to Golden State, and then Larry Bird to the Celtics.
So, there's no fuckery there. There's six. And he went 6th or 7th?
6th.
Yeah. So 5 other teams, including Larry's home. Man, how much of a game changer would it have been, Brian, had the Pacers taken him? See, Red Auerbach was just a better strategist. He's like, listen, I'll let the guy go ahead and play his senior year. This guy's going to be the guy that comes back and saves my fucking... Nobody thought Larry Bird would be that good in the league. He was slow and white, and they didn't think that worked, right? In the Dr. J era, right? They didn't think some slow white guy. They didn't know the motherfucker could D up and had white trash running through his veins where he didn't give up. Right?
I'm just
Brian, nobody really thought Larry Bird was going to be as good as he ended up being.
Well, it was, if you were a junior coming out back then, you
wasn't coming out. You couldn't come out. You could draft them, but they couldn't come out. They had to play their senior year. That was the rule.
No, but I'm saying if you were drafting a junior back then, you were really you were.
Nobody did it.
Well, there was he was drafted. Reggie Theus was drafted that draft as a junior. James Hardy was drafted that draft as a junior. Winfred Boynes was drafted as a junior that year. Frankie Sanders. There were instances of it happening where juniors were drafted.
I'm just saying there's been instances.
Magic Johnson was drafted as a sophomore.
Yeah, there's instances. Look at they said New York with Patrick Ewing in '85. He went to the biggest, one of the bigger market teams, Patrick Ewing, whatever.
Ewing,
I'm
yeah.
stuffy.
Yeah.
How the Magic got it during
But
the...
I mean, back then, though, here's the thing. Back then, they made you play out your collegiate career. Like you couldn't. Now, literally, what is the rule, Brian? 1 year?
One and done.
One and done. You could literally
You
go
don't even
one
need
and
to play. You can go overseas. You can take a
now,
year off.
Now, hold on. Now, can they do this? Since back in the day.
But no,
hold on.
Magic went. He played for the Lakers in 79-80. So he came out as a sophomore.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I mean, they used to have high school
Yeah,
kids
you had
playing.
me confused because I didn't remember, and it used to be like
High school.
straight
They
from high
changed- they
school.
just
They
changed the
changed
rules.
the
I think
rules to make it one and done.
Daryl Dawkins. I think how many
He was
guys-
the first one, I think, that came.
Yeah, Daryl Dawkins might have been the first guy out of high school.
I mean, a lot of kids have come out of high school.
Yeah,
for a while.
Kobe.
Kobe came out of high school.
LeBron.
Has anybody seen the Air movie?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what? They did an absolute brilliant job on shooting that and never using Michael Jordan. Right?
Right. They made the movie about the shoe and the story. It was smart.
It was so good.
So smart.
And situationally, they used just an actor. When they had like negotiations in the boardrooms and things like that. They shot it so brilliantly, and I thought it was so well done. And what a great story, huh? And boy, is his mom the best ever.
Yeah.
She's the one. I mean, Brian, she's the one that cut that whole fucking deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And then his dad gambled and got in trouble and got himself killed.
Is that how it all went down?
That's allegedly.
Him and Michael. Yeah, supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly.
And then
Allegedly.
And allegedly, supposedly, rumors been told we not know to be true.
Mm-hmm.
And then supposedly the league said, "Listen, go play baseball for a year, so we let the heat die down, and then come back,
Yep.
change your number."
You want to change it back?
Wasn't he really shitty as a baseball player?
He was
actually wasn't that
okay.
bad.
I mean, he wasn't as good as Dion or fucking
No.
or Bo
No.
Jackson.
But he was also trying it at age 31.
Dion,
Yeah, he
Dion
hadn't
and Bo.
played since- he
Well,
hasn't
first of
played
all,
Little
the
League.
greatest two sport athlete ever, and even Deion Sanders
Bo
will tell you
Jackson.
this. Even Deion Sanders will tell you this. That Bo Jackson, like Deion Sanders will tell you, Bo Jackson was
Not even close.
Way better.
A
Way better.
freak. That throw that he made.
Oh my God!
Over the shoulder, like deep center, and then got
On a
the
rope?
guy on a rope.
How about the time he climbed the wall?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Breaking bats over
yeah.
his knees
He was
like
a
they were
fucking-
toothpicks.
And I do know of one. I know a pretty close friend of mine who has had an opportunity to get to know him pretty well, and he said he is absolutely the most soft-spoken gentleman, like just an absolute unbelievable guy, like just straight fucking cool dude. God, he was a monster, was he not? Remember, man, the NFL had never seen a running back. I mean, like the closest that I don't, maybe Earl Campbell. He was Earl Campbell with Eric Dickerson, Barry Sanders speed, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was just unfucking believable.
I mean, they said he ran a 4.17,
4.18, 4.17, yeah. At 2:35.
Yeah, amazing. And just the ability to play. I mean, in his college, he hit for a career 1,200 OPS.
I mean,
pretty good.
He was on.
That's
And
just
baseball,
insane.
man, he was so fucking good. Oh, he was so good. One of the coolest things I ever saw was when Dion was playing for the Reds, and we were close, and he let me come and hang out in the dugout and be with Barry Larkin and God, who else was a couple of guys? Barry Larkin and a couple other dudes.
95. Chris Sabo?
Yeah, name a couple others.
I'm trying to think from that team.
But I drove to the game. He was staying at a place. He would call me up and say, "Sponge, go over to Plant City, find me a house to rent for a month. Tell the landlord who it is. Tell me how much it is, how much they want, and I'll wire them the money." So I would literally call like a realtor and be like, "Hey, listen, like I'd rent like a house like Tom Bean's or something."
Oh, wow.
You know, Brian, like a big, and Dion wanted a pool and a big ass house. So I'd go over there and they'd have a house they were trying to sell that had been on the market for 6-7 months. And they'd be like, yeah, and this is what, 97, 96 money? And it would be like $4,000. And Dion would literally wire him $4,000, and they'd let this house that was for sale, Dion stay there. So I'd go over there, pick him. I'd park my car there, and then ride with him to the ballpark and get to go in the locker room and man, if I could have recorded, man, can you imagine some of the footage I could have recorded?
Oh, yeah.
And then when I went to the 96 NFC championship game.
Well, that would have been good.
I got in so much trouble. Did I ever tell you that story, Brian?
What, the championship game?
NFC championship game, 96. I'm with Dion. I got this pass.
And he's hanging out with him the whole time?
No. So I'm hanging out with Dion, and I'm on the field. Like, Brian, I'm literally on the Cowboys bench. Like, I have a pass. Dion tells Jerry Jones's security, hey, I need my man here to be able to go anywhere he wants. He's my friend. So they give me this pass, Brian, and it was like a laminate, but it had like a hologram kind of some kind of deal to it. Like I don't know if I think like I could go anywhere I wanted, anywhere. Well, so the game starts. Well, they're playing the Packers. Guess where I go? I go right over to the Packers. I'm literally over at the Packers sideline. I'm from me to Lummy from Brett Favre. I'm like, holy shit, there's Chris Jackie, there's Reggie White. Fuck. So the Cowboys are winning at halftime, but it's a super close game. And I go into the locker room, and Dion goes, Sponge, where you been? I go, hey, Dion, I've been over at the Packers sideline. He goes, Sponge, don't forget who brought you to the ball game. So I didn't go over the rest of the game. I stayed. I couldn't believe how small Emmitt Smith was.
Was he like 5'8"?
He wasn't that big at all. But,
yeah.
Man, some of those fucking linemen they had, my Lord.
The Bo Jackson Bucks story is just fascinating. They need to make a 30 for 30 just on that.
They do, where Hugh Culverhouse said he didn't he didn't approve of black men dating white women. And so Bo Jackson literally told.
That wasn't even the reason.
No, it wasn't.
The reason
because he
flew private.
Bo is convinced that Hugh Culverhouse did it knowing that it would cost him his baseball season because the Bucks wanted to draft him but did not want him to play two sports like he said he wanted to. And so Culverhouse gets him on the plane while he's in the middle of his baseball season, having literally one of the most incredible 2-year runs that a baseball player has ever had, and then costs him his eligibility. He couldn't play his senior year.
And a lot of people said that Culverhouse did that, he knew what he was doing.
He did intentionally,
that
absolutely. And so Bo Jackson was so angry, he said...
But he told him, he said, don't draft me.
You draft me if you want. You're going to waste a draft pick. I can promise you that.
And they thought, oh, whatever. Well, fucking whatever. And they drafted him, and he never stepped foot in Tampa, ever. I don't know that he ever even played a game in Tampa.
No.
Playing for the Raiders.
He went and played baseball.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I don't even know that his Raiders career even brought him to the big sombrero.
Yeah, the Bucks forfeited his rights, and he ended up signing a 3-year, $1 million deal with the Kansas City Royals, rather than signing a $7.6 million 5-year deal with the
Brett,
Bucks.
you there? I'm checking out your mic.
Hey, hello.
Oh no, that's good.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That sounds great.
Awesome.
Now let's check Macho's mic. Mach, you there?
Yeah.
All
Perfect.
right.
All right, you guys. Man, it took the entire show plus 2 hours.
Yeah, just
I need
5.5 hour.
I need a shot of vodka.
Lummy,
ask Lummy.
go in Lummy's
Put some
car.
protein powder in it
Ask
first.
Lummy.
We got a big bar back here. We can go do some shots of Macho.
So he told him, and we didn't. We drafted him,
Yeah,
and Brian, I don't think we ended up getting shit for him, right?
No, they had to forfeit.
Did we even get a compensatory pick or anything?
They forfeited his rights, and then he got selected in the 7th round by the Raiders.
Of
the next year's draft.
Next year, right?
Yeah.
I think somebody of the Raiders is like, hey, you know what? It's a fucking throw around round. Let's just draft Bo. Maybe that motherfucker will come out, right? I mean, most 7th rounders back then didn't. I mean, right? Like it's a 50-50 shot at best that a 7th rounder is going to make the team, right?
It seemed like baseball was his true love and passion.
I think it was.
But he played football because he liked it. But football is ultimately what cost him both his careers.
Yeah.
The hip injury.
Guy from the Bengals.
Yeah, the last game of his last season, 90
Didn't even look like it was that big of a deal. It seems like
it was probably an aggravation of a pre-existing condition that he was dealing with, would be my guess, is because it's one of those things where they found literally death of bone tissue in his femoral head. He had long-term damage and traumatic damage to his cartilage in the joint there. His hip was shot.
So this was probably just
the straw that broke the camel's back.
Right.
Yeah. You know how many touchdowns he scored in his 4 seasons in the NFL? Just 18.
That's it?
Yeah. Well, he didn't ever play in more than 11 games in a season because of baseball. So, but he averaged 5.4 yards per carry, 9.1 yards per catch. And he was just like generational, just like once in a lifetime athlete.
What about Lightning? I mean, are we losing Killorn?
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Gone.
No way, unless he took $1 million a year to stay with the Lightning. Which why would he? This is his last chance to get paid anything. A team's going to overpay for him. He's worth $5 million a year max, 4 years, $4 million.
But we can't even afford that, can we?
No. The most the Bucks could afford to pay him would be the maybe two. I mean, sorry, the Bucks. The Lightning could afford to pay him would be maybe $2 million, and they would have to get some guys at like literally 7, whatever the league minimum is, to fill out every other roster spot. But
so are we screwed?
Well, we're not screwed, but we're losing Killorn, and we're probably losing Ross Colton too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They can't afford to re-sign him either based on what he's likely going to be making. So, they're tight. Money is tight.
So did we did we fuck ourselves in the fact that we needed to win it this year and we didn't, and now we kind of like I am as a Packer fan, I don't want to say, but we got to kind of rebuild.
No, it's not going to be a rebuild because they have too many long-term contracts tied up. I mean, they have a new core. They still have Point. They still have
Hedman.
Sergachev. They still have Chernak. They still have Hedman. They still have Vazzy. They still have Cooch. Stammers at the end of his deal. They need to get through this season. Hope that there's a significant salary cap increase the following year. And that things get a lot easier for them when Stamkos' $8.5 million comes off the books.
And where does that? What happens to Stamo? Because he's
going to take a team-friendly deal.
He'll go like, hey, you know what?
3-4 mil. Yeah.
You think he will?
Yeah. Yeah.
Has he indicated that?
I think he wants to retire a Bolt.
He has said that he wants to retire a Bolt.
And I think he'll take a team-friendly deal for his last.
And can the Bolts say, hey, listen, Steve, we've competitively paid you. When we needed to, you've been competitively paid your entire career, and if we want you as much as you want us, but you're gonna, here are the numbers. The numbers don't lie. You're gonna have to work with us, bud. You're not an $8 or $9 million. I mean, you may be, but what if people start chirping in his ear like Toronto or Montreal or something? You're like, hey, $10 million.
Yeah, I guess it's how he wants to be remembered. Does he want to be remembered as the captain in the core on this amazing team, or does he want to be remembered? Does
he want to go get a money grab for 3 years?
And I just don't. First of all, I don't know that the money will be there for him. Quite honestly, after next season, I mean, if the Lightning are giving him what the Lightning can offer him is an extra year more than whatever everybody else is offering, and just offer him $1 million less a season. So if he's out there on the market and has a $4 or $5 million 3-year value. Is that
going to be his market value though? Or
I mean, he's going to be going into his age 35 season in 24-25.
You don't think a Toronto or a Montreal where he's from?
They've got their own cap problem. That's the problem. Is the teams that he would want to play for are going to be strung for money unless the cap increases
and
dramatically.
Plus, you know what? He's made enough money. He's made enough money, and he's the face of the franchise, and he's a fucking great guy. It's a whole different set of circumstances than it was with Vinny. And,
I mean, he doubled down after the season. He said, I only want to play in the Tampa Bay Lightning jersey, and I love Tampa. Why would I want to go back?
So you're right, Brian. He goes, he takes one for he signs a 3-year, $12 million deal.
I mean, the Lightning have 5 players signed through 28-29 at least.
Vaz.
They've got, 6.
Cooch.
No, Vaz is only through 28. 27-28.
Vaz needs to step at the
Cooch
fuck.
is-
Hold on.
yeah,
Vaz needs
he
to
was
step at the
tired.
fuck up next year.
Cooch is only 27-28, but they've got Braden Point through the 30 season. They've got Sorelli through the 31 season. They've got Nick Paul through the 29 season. They've got Sergachev through the 31 season and Eric Chernak through the 31 season. So they're going to have a continued core for the next 8 years. I mean, that's pretty crazy.
Hi, who's this?
Hey, it's Tim. The Bo deal, when he pulled his hip out, he was literally dislocated it, and it was a few weeks before he got to a hospital, and that's how the bone deteriorated.
Oh, it wasn't deteriorated, and that just happened,
No, he was so strong that he literally ripped his own leg out of the socket avoiding that tackle.
Yeah, but I think that he also. So you're saying that was his last game of the season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so rather than to go and get immediate attention, he waited it out for a few weeks, and that's what deadened the bone. You say?
Yep.
Okay.
And that's in that 30 for 30.
Oh, okay.
They did on him.
All right, bud. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Guy was a fucking stud. Absolute stud. Last question before I let you go, Brian, because I need you to help me with that one thing.
Yeah.
How does Dion do? Dion's got one hell of a schedule. I just talked to him. He FaceTimed me. Was it Tuesday or Monday? I think it was Monday night.
Monday night.
Yeah. He included me in one of his Instagrams. I'm going to have him on the air one of these days. But you know, they were 1-11 last year. I just saw an interview he did, and this guy, very reputable sports guy, is like, listen, when you inherit a 1-11 team by NCAA standards, 5 wins is a big deal. You going 5-6 or 5-7 is a big deal, And Dion goes, nah. Not for me, buddy. Realistically, he's got a tough schedule.
Yeah, he does.
He opens up with TCU.
At TCU, and that's a tough one. But TCU is replacing their quarterback and a few of their playmakers from the surprise team last year.
What if Dion goes on first game on the road, very hostile environment, and beats them?
Yeah, they'll be 3-0 then because they'll beat Nebraska, they'll beat Colorado State if that's the case.
Right.
The following 2 weeks, then at Oregon would be a big one.
Yeah,
and then versus USC, Arizona State that's winnable. Stanford is winnable. UCLA less likely but still winnable. Oregon State winnable. Arizona winnable. Washington State winnable. I mean, it's not as difficult as a schedule.
So
as
what if
you would
Dion?
make it out to
What
be.
if Dion goes 7-4? I mean,
well, they play 12 games.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
So 7-5. 7-5 would be
bowl eligible.
That'd be a phenomenal turnaugght.
And
Phenomenal turnaround.
And 7-5, your first year with a shit bucket team that you inherited turns into 8-4, 9-3.
No, if he goes 7-5 in his first season with them, they'll be with USC and UCLA leaving the next season. They'll probably be the
Pac-12 champion,
10-win team. Yeah, 10-2 the following year.
And
if he gets them to 7-5 next year.
Yeah,
because they're not an old team. They're still young. A lot of the transfers they brought in are sophomore. I mean, look, they took two of the best players from USF.
Yeah,
USF that will let you know how shitty our coaching staff was. That 2 of our recruits were the most coveted in the nation.
Were they?
Yeah. Xavier Weaver is with Colorado.
Hold on. We had two guys on the USF shitty squad that were really good.
Amazing. Brian Battie. Jimmy Horn Jr. is another one.
And they're both with Dion.
I thought maybe Battie went to Auburn. Oh no, Jimmy Horn Jr. He's a wide receiver. And
where'd he go?
He's with Dion. And then I thought Xavier Weaver went there too, but I could be wrong.
What about have you looked at the plans of this new $380 million facility
for USF?
Yeah.
There's no real plans yet, but
they just had that over.
Yeah, that's an old rendering from 2016
when Charlie Strong was here.
Yeah,
and I keep up on Dion's Instagram and stuff, and I see their facility. Their facility is really nice. Like his office is like in the stadium. Like he opens up these big doors and like there's the fucking, and I mean Colorado's facility is unbelievable. I could see Dion. Well, it's probably a much better job, but just facility wise, I mean, Dion likes nice shit, and Colorado probably was the job. I mean, it came down to Colorado and USF, but Colorado was the right place. I mean, that's where you could make your more immediate impact. You don't have a stadium here. You don't have near the facility here, right? I mean, I think
you have Raymond James. That's a good selling point for kids. You've got a big population, a big media market. You've got a nicer weather-wise place to live for most people, especially the type of athletes that he's recruiting. These kids aren't used to winters. I can't.
You have the new indoor facility.
You've got the new indoor facility. What you don't have is the same level of national exposure that he'll get at Colorado. That is definitely more than he would have gotten at USF. USF's schedule this year, the only real out-of-conference game they have is Alabama, and they would it doesn't matter what type of team Deion was putting together, they were going to get killed in that game. So I think from the standpoint of which one gives him the best chance to go
Colorado,
6-6 or better and improve immediately, it was Colorado.
Yeah, I agree.
He actually would have had to rebuild USF and not have the same advantages in terms of facilities and everything like that he has in Colorado.
Last question, you think the NIL is the Wild West and is going to absolutely destroy football?
It already has. It's not just football. It's all college sports.
All sports are
all college sports.
You got guys.
Literally,
you got
women's
guys
basketball players are coming. You're not getting the same money, but they're coming based upon.
Hold on. What's the high? Hasn't there been like a $13 million NIL?
I don't know that there's that much. That was the fake Florida one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Alexa, what's been the largest NIL to date?
Here's the news.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Livy Dunn is a gymnast at LSU, $3.5 million.
Yeah. Hey, Alexa, who has the largest NIL contract in college sports?
Bronny James.
From C.com. The largest nil deal of its kind belongs to the Texas Tech Red Raiders women's basketball team for the 2022 to 2023 season.
I got Bronny James at $7.2 million.
Who?
Jaden Rashada was alleged to have. That's the kid.
With the Gators.
With the Gators, that was alleged to have. But here's from 2023. Here's the top earners, according to this article. The number one was Bronny James, $7.5 million.
Is that a year?
That's in a year.
So what does that entail? $7.5 million cash for what?
For media endorsements, social media engagement, appearances, sponsorships, things like that.
This is going to kill college athletics.
Mikey Williams, a Memphis Hoops commit, $3.6 million, and that's mostly FedEx money, I'm sure. And
what I'm saying, don't you think this is going to just absolutely it's going to make it the Wild West, even though Jimbo Fisher couldn't win with it. I mean, it's just, I don't know, man. People like my buddy Dion and stuff will benefit from it, but I think it's just gonna give the haves more and the haves not
Shedeur
less.
Sanders, $1.6 million.
God.
And I mean, for a mid, he's a great quarterback, but in terms of his profile, he was a 3-star kid coming out of high school.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Archie Manning said 3.7.
Brian, thank you.
Thanks,
my friend. Let me thank you.
Thank you.
We will see you tomorrow morning.